everyone, Kyle here. It is Saturday. That means weekly purchases, our time of the week where we talk about what came through the door, what came via Amazon, what came from the mailman, what came from DHL, FedEx, UPS, what came from my birthday party last week that I was so excited about. That's our weekly purchases, and this week is weekly purchases like none other. I know a couple weeks ago I said this is the biggest weekly purchases of all time. This will never be topped. Well, I was an outright liar. I lied to every single one of you. As this week, the video you're watching now will be the biggest week of weekly purchases ever. There's no way it will ever be topped. It's just an insane week. Sometimes the cards all fall together and stack and all come at the right time. You can't refuse some deals. You come across some amazing deals, and you might get lucky and win a lot of stuff in a week. More on that to come. But this week was just absolutely insane, and we will be getting to it. Just a totally crazy weekly purchases week. Anyways, this week I've been hardcore in the midst of a total room remodel, toy room remodel, reconfiguration. Hopefully you guys are following me on social media. Instagram, _Kyle_Peterson. Twitter, @SirPaul64. If you're following me there, I threw up this sneak peek picture of a little remodeling, reconfiguration. As you guys know, I'm working on that Jack's Ruthless Aggression collection. I've started to build the display. And I did all this week kind of under the gun. I was kind of hoping to be finished this fall, really take my time. But no, I had to work through the night, multiple nights this week. Cool opportunity got dropped in my lap. Much more to come on that in about a month or so, I think. It'll be ready to be shown. So a really cool thing coming down the pipeline. We'll get more into that a month from now. I'll let you guys all know. Stay close to my social media, as I'll probably post it on there first. Maybe, sorta. I don't know. Wait and see. But really cool stuff happening on the channel. So hopefully you guys have subscribed. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. As you guys know, I'm putting out new videos every single day until I can't. And we don't know when that'll be. But a lot of unboxings, a lot of reviews, a lot of deep dives, a lot of good feedback. We're going series by series in the Jack's Classic Superstars. I'm dropping a new Jack's video every single Tuesday, so you don't want to miss those. Follow along as we'll go through series 1 through 28. Tag teams, 3-packs, 1 of 100s, best of, ring giants, limited editions. Tons of lines inside the lines of the Classic Superstars, and we'll get through all of them. It might take us a full year. Every Tuesday, 1 o'clock Central, it will be dropped. So stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe. You don't want to miss any of that fun stuff. Funny thing this week, one of my favorite people on the internet, old Eamon Merrigan, he made a beautiful card. It's right here. I don't know if you guys followed social media, and hopefully you watched my video of the Loot Crate unboxing. Not Loot, I always call it Loot Crate. I guess that's just burned into my head from the Turtles Loot Crate figures. The Pro Wrestling Crate, June Crate unboxing video. If you haven't seen it, look at my videos, it's in there. But I tried to play the kazoo. It didn't go so hot trying to play it for the first time. I later figured it out and played a beautiful Motorhead song for you guys all to close that video. But thank you, Eamon, for that card, because I laughed pretty hard when I saw that thing. I had a feeling something might come of my kazoo playing ability or lack of playing ability. So that was pretty funny. Hopefully you guys checked out my weekly fig hunting video. Every Friday I post my fig hunting for the week. I'm not one of those guys that sits and meanders in the aisles and talks and stuff. I'm in and out. I'm trying to bang out stores like I can. Probably like a lot of you guys do. We got to get to them in and out, especially if we're not finding stuff. It gets to be a chore. So I want to get in, get out, get in, get out as fast as I can. I try to just document the aisle, try to just show what I'm seeing quick, and then we'll go on to the next one. Hit a lot of stores and make the video as short as possible, because I don't know. I don't know if you guys would want to see, 2 hours of figure hunting videos, but maybe you would. Who knows? But I just can't do it. I'm not going to sit there talking to myself into the camera for long periods of time in the aisle. No offense to those of you that do that, but so hopefully you checked out my fig hunting video this week. 2 weeks in a row is pretty rough out there. I did find at least one thing this week, but we're in the doldrums right now. I think maybe in July, towards the middle of July, things will get a bit better out there. I'm having serious turtle anxiety. Those NECA Walmart Turtle 2-pack of Raphael and Casey Jones is just it's causing me anxiety. That was supposed to be out last week. No signs of it anywhere. You know, it's back in the entertainment DVD section, not the toy aisle. So you're dealing with a whole new ball game, a whole new restock and stocking. Knowing some of those people back in the electronics, it might be in the store and sit in the back room for a month. They're not familiar with that kind of stuff because it's new. It's just anxiety 101. It's just very frustrating. I'm sure a lot of you guys that are trying to get it out there are probably having the same frustrations. The internet pre-sale for that one was a total disaster. I don't know anybody personally that got in to get one, which makes me feel a little bit better because I totally got skunked on it, as well as a couple of buddies in the area as well. So keep your eyes peeled for those NECA 2-pack Ninja Turtles. And if you come across one, don't forget me. I'm a cash buyer, I guess they would say. But I'm hoping in the next week, my gut tells me mid next week, it might start appearing some places. But then right on the heels of that, we saw a carded image this week, or boxed images of the new Target Ninja Turtles from the cartoon series line. These all look awesome. Outside of the April, I'm still on the fence about that one. But just a cool line at Target. I've never really had too much trouble finding these in the past, but the anxiety is the same. The NECA figures give me more anxiety than Mattel and Hasbro figures. I don't know what it is. I've also heard that from other collectors. I don't know if it's just because they're not in the toy aisle and that they're always perceived to be very rare. I don't know what it is, but they just drive me nuts. And I'm very happy I don't collect a whole lot of NECA stuff because I don't know if I could deal with that kind of anxiety on a regular basis. But the Turtles that are coming to Target, the Metal Head, and the new 2-packs, supposed to be hitting sometime in July, mid-July. That's my guess. It would be probably closer to August for those. But I got to have those to continue on the Turtles collection. This week also, we saw new pictures of the UFC figures. As you guys know, I did a video in the past about Jack's UFC figures. I did enjoy that line, the Legends of that line primarily. And I think I talked about this before. I'm pretty much on the fence on this UFC line. You guys know I collect a lot of different lines. I do love UFC. I loved it back in the day a lot more, that's for sure. As of right now, I'm all in. If they do come out with a Legends line, I would buy UFC Legends. I'm just not interested. The Conor McGregor, John Jones, Daniel Cormier, Donald Cerrone, Khabib, those guys don't really interest me a whole lot. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting too old, or I just not following it as hard as I used to. You know, some different people opinions on the figures. I've seen people that absolutely love them. I've seen people that don't like them at all. I'm kind of middle of the road. The legs do look a little bit kind of funky to me. Like there's not enough separation or something. I don't know. But like most things, until you see them in hand, you can't be 100% judgmental on things. You can't just say, oh, not getting them, not getting them. I learned my lesson with that with the new G.I. Joes that came out. I was kind of on the fence. I didn't know if I liked the pictures, but the more reviews I saw and unboxing videos and then seeing them in person, I'm all in. I do obviously love G.I. Joe a lot, but sometimes you got to see them in hand before you make your final judgment is what I would say. But like I said, I'm waiting for the Legend line of the UFC. Hopefully that comes down the line. If I can get a new Boss Rutan figure, oh man, my year will be made. That'll be the figure of the year for sure if I can get me a Boss Rutan. But we saw those UFC figures, and we also saw carded images of the new AEW Figures Series 1. And boy, you thought there was a lot of discussion on the UFC. The AEW figures was about as polarizing as it gets. Jeremy Padower, posting, oh, the lighting's bad and stuff. The plastic looks cheaper. They're going to fix it on the second waves and stuff like that. I don't know. I say I'm going to wait for my judgment. Once I get those in from Ringside Collectibles, cheap plug, I guess, Ringside. I ordered the whole set and a little bit of the bubbly exclusive via Ringside. Once I get all those in hand, I'll definitely do an unboxing. I'll give you guys my honest opinion on them. But I have high hopes for the set. I especially love the packaging. Throwback to the Classic Superstars. You guys know I love the Classic Superstars. I do worry about that packaging, though. It's got some angles and some corners. That could be a disaster for mint-on-card collectors. I go back to the old Classic Superstars days, trying to hunt those down. Sometimes you'd get so lucky you'd grab a full case, you'd open it up, and the star was bent over in every single one. Yeah, there was figures in here you needed, but you're a mint-on-card collector, you're screwed because they're all damaged. And that happened to me way more times than I want to admit. I mean, I remember that Series 8, the Hulk Hogan NWO one, being destroyed. The disappointment was real. Luckily, I found it later on, but I don't know. That class of the new AEW packages looks a lot like that Classic Superstar, which I love, but it also brings back a little bit of the terror of the corners that could be bent, and it could be very tough for people wanting mint on card set. As of right now, I'm all in going loose on those figures. I will buy the first series mint in box, mint on card, whatever you want to say, just to have. Give me some more time to decide what I really want to do. If I do want to go down the road of in box like the classics, I may, and I'll keep them. If not, I can always, I'm sure, sell them or trade them or flip them down the line. But that's those AEW figures. Those are coming soon, probably in a month or so, via Ringside at least, and then look for them at Walmart in the fall. But exciting times with Jazzwares getting back into the game with UFC figures and the AEW figures, that's for sure. Also saw via Knucklebones, I don't talk about these a whole lot, but I'm a huge fan of their statue lines, heavy metal statues. Scorpions, greatest, well, not the greatest, but one of the greatest bands from Germany, that's for sure. The Scorpions, a lot of people know the Scorpions, obviously. That's not some deep secret heavy metal band. But these Knucklebone statues are awesome. I'm not sure if I'll get the Scorpions. I've kind of thinned that herd down a little bit to just my Motorhead stuff, Judas Priest, and a few others, but we'll see. I might be a buyer at the Scorpions. I don't know, but the Knucklebone stuff is awesome always, and they do put out some really quality stuff. So that kind of flew under some collectors' radars. I know there's a lot of heavy metal fans out there that might be interested in that, so there you go. And then last week, I don't know how I forgot it. Last week was pre-order mania, as we all know, but I forgot about Monday of last week. I don't even know what day that would have been, like the 22nd or something of June. The pre-order went down on Entertainment Earth for the Mr. T Mattel Elite figure. I, luckily enough, got one. If you didn't get one, I expect Ringside to have some like they did Slim Jim Macho Man last year. I also expect, well, I don't expect, we've been told, there's a Hasbro Plus website. Very similar. Mattel's going to do one of those, and they're going to release Mr. T sometime at the end of July, I believe, via that website. So if you didn't get Mr. T, you'll have another chance. Beautiful packaging, a cool-looking figure. I know a lot of people are mad saying it's kind of a mashup of different figures and different outfits put together. I'll wait till I see it in package, but it looks really cool. I have a feeling we're going to get a lot of Mr. T's down the line, for good or for bad. And, you know, 1 or 2 Mr. T's okay. I don't know if I need 4 or 5, but we'll see how that ends up shaking out. But I did totally admit that one and all the craziness last week. That's for sure. So that's coming down the line. And then finally, Album of the Week, my new feature. I started last week with Gypsy Hawk. This week, I'm talking about Udo. UDO, the band UDO, but led by Udo Dirkschneider. The Return to Accept album where he did all Accept classics. I was listening to that all week long. I absolutely love Udo. I saw him on this tour. I love Accept. I wish they would just totally reform, but, you know, Accept's still going with Mark Ternillo, sorry. Love Accept, love Udo. It's almost like having 2 Accept bands at the same time. But this was kind of my soundtrack to my week, I would say, is Udo, or UDO, I guess. Udo Dirkschneider, the band UDO. So there it is. That's the album of the week. Check it out if you haven't already. Now let's get into it. Let's get into the weekly purchases. All right, let's get to the weekly purchases. I talked about at the beginning. I said, this is the biggest week of weekly purchases that has ever existed in the history of this channel. Probably the history of my years of collecting. There's just sometimes things fall into place. The right deal comes at the right time. You get the right gift at the right time. Or you get extremely lucky in a week. And the things just all settle in. And that's what happened to me this week. In a way, I won the lottery this week. I really did. It's just amazing, my luck, I guess you would say. And it's very funny, the majority of this stuff happened on my birthday. So I don't know. I don't know if I was a good guy this year and I got rewarded by the cosmic gods, the warrior gods of the world. I don't know. But here we are with weekly purchases. And I want to start off first. Bob Zegloff, good listener, good brother, good watcher, good friend. Look what he hooked me up with. You guys have heard me talk about this for weeks, months. I have not been able to find this Yellow Ranger, but good brother Bob came through, slid into my DMs, hooked me up with the Yellow Ranger. I can't thank him enough. I don't know why this is such a hard figure to find in my area. As you guys have seen in the channel, I usually can find everything within a couple of weeks. Skunked on this left and right, still to this day, never found it. Bob hooked it up, shipped it out to me. I can't thank him enough. So once again, Bob, thank you very much for hooking me up with this. That is for sure. I want to get that one out of the way first. And then let's go. We're going to go in a way we never go. We usually end the show with Jack's loose Ruthless Aggression figures. Well, another slow week on Ruthless Aggression figures. I have a feeling next week will be a very heavy week. As you guys know, I'm trying to complete the whole thing and just couldn't find anything I needed this week at a good deal I wanted to pay for, and only a few things came through. But I ended up getting this John Cena figure. Don't even quote me which one it is off the top of my head, but I know it's one I didn't have, so there you go. I got that Cena. Got a Mr. Kennedy right there. And another Mr. Kennedy, but this Mr. Kennedy is special. It's a special Mr. Kennedy. It's from a WrestleMania 2-pack, I believe, with Jeff Hardy. But look at this. He's got loose arms. That makes this Mr. Kennedy the hot garbage of the week. You know, sellers out there, they don't tell you, oh yeah, it's great shape, it's perfect. You know, I noticed it's missing the knee pads. I got a few extra knee pads laying around. I can use those. But I can't deal with this spinny arm business. That makes this Mr. Kennedy the hot garbage of the week. He will be a placeholder until I can find a new one. But there goes Mr. Kennedy. Unfortunate, but that's what happens when you're getting loose. You just can't believe everybody online, that's for sure. Another one, MVP from, I think this is MVP's last Jax figure in the Ruthless Aggression line. So I finally got this one. A little harder to find than the red and the purple suited MVPs that are out there. Also got my least favorite head scan in the world, Randy Orton. They made 1 million of them. So got another one of those Ortons as I try to build an army of terrible head scan Ortons. And then finally, this one popped up at a good price, and I couldn't pass it up. I don't know why I got it, because it doesn't fit, but it does fit. It's Ruthless Aggression style, but not technically part of the line. Terry Taylor from the TNA Legends line. Interesting figure, you know, pre or post Red Rooster. I don't know what this is. Kind of looks like post Red Rooster, but, you know, you'd think it would be pre-Red Rooster. It almost looks like they shaved the mohawk off of him, the Rooster mohawk, but there it is, Terry Taylor, and that is it for Jax. Slow Jax weeks. Next week should be a lot bigger for some of you guys that love Jax. You guys saw a picture of my display I'm working on. That thing's got a long ways to go and a short time to get there, as the great Jerry Reed would say back in the day. All right, well, let's get started. We're just going to haul through all this stuff, some heavy hitters this week, and a few stories along the way. How about Ringside Collectibles coming through? Ultimate Edition Series 5, Becky Lynch, John Cena. These came through the mail this week. You know, I had a whole fiasco where I had these pre-ordered. I eventually canceled it because they were attached to Elite 76. I found Elite 76 in the store, had to cancel the whole thing. Then I quickly rebooked these up and got them in the mail this week. So that worked out very good. Ultimate Edition 5, I'll do an unboxing video on those, see how those go. And then Ringside also came through with a lot of people got this week. Chyna and Triple H 2-pack. Chyna's first Elite figure. Her first figure back from the bone crunching days. It's been a long time since we've had a Chyna figure. So I will do an unboxing on this 2-pack as well. Coming to the channel very, very soon. But I got to give props to Ringside. A lot of people, you know, bag on them about their mint on card stuff. Not cutting so mint on card, damaged packaging. These figures were wrapped up and packaged perfectly. All perfect condition. Just can't, I don't know if they've started putting padding in there, but I needed to call that out because I know some people give them a bad rap about packaging. That's 2 sets in a row that have came in mint condition with packaging and everything else. So good on you, Ringside. Thank you, Ringside, for hooking me up on that. How about the first big win of the week? I am going to do a video. Maybe it'll be Sunday's video. I'm going to detail my crazy week, so I won't go into it too much here. But this week, via Matt Cardona, Major Wrestling Figure Podcast, I won this. The new t-shirt, the Major Pod shirt, and the new Major Pod title, autographed there by Matt Cardona. And you can see right there, 000 of 500. So thank you to the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast. Thank you, Matt Cardona, for hooking me up with this. Very awesome to get that. That is for sure. How about, here's one where I say, you guys know I don't play the long game very often, but I played the super long game on this one. Rose, Star Wars Black Series. This is old. 55. I think they're already up to 100 Black Series figures. Over 100 now. This is 55. I never got this. Peg warmer of the century. I waited too long. It left the shelves. Didn't get it real cheap. Found it this week for $10. So playing the long game on the Star Wars Black Series. it works out in my favor once again. Here's one from the LJN department. You guys, my video last week, and you guys know from my other videos, I am like a madman, and you're going to see a lot of it today. Getting a complete LJN collection. I was so fired up 2 weeks ago, so angry, so mad. I said, I'm getting this set done as quick as I can. I think as of right now, I maybe need 8 more LJNs, and it's not for lack of trying, just trying to find one that's in good condition for the final 8. So I'm hoping to close that set out here in the next month, maybe. I don't know. It just depends what pops up on the internet, or if I can find it, or a seller, or you name it, whatever. But I'm all in on the LJNs. I'm getting my childhood back. I feel like Sgt Slaughter saying, I want my country back. I want my childhood toys back. I'm not giving up. I'm going to get them all. I have to have them. It's the glaring hole in my collection. It's the glaring hole in my heart. I need those back. I'm well on my way. Like I said, I just a handful I need left. And anyways, this week I ordered a reproduction Miss Elizabeth skirt. Right here, a gold skirt. Doesn't really look like it. Maybe it does, because I think I told you in the video last week, my Miss Elizabeth skirt, it's original, and it is filthy. I'm not really sure how to clean it. I haven't really found any good answers. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the old one in a Ziploc bag, and I'm going to put this nice reproduction one on her in my display. To me, that counts in my crazy collecting brain, because I do have the original. I just don't have it on display. So that counts for me. It'll look better on display and whatnot. But I got that off of eBay. You got to be careful with the LJN and the reproduction stuff, because it's out there. And you got to know your stuff on your boards and your nightsticks and your hats and stuff like that. And you got to trust your sellers and know your sellers. And hopefully they're telling the truth and stuff. And there's ways to figure it out. I've always kind of known that stuff. But I've been obviously researching a lot more in the last few weeks. That's for sure, as I'm closing in on that LJN set. Look what I came through Amazon, $9.99. I said, why not? Same price as the store. Ricochet, SummerSlam Basic. I wish this figure would have been an Elite. I would have rather had this as an Elite than the last one we got of him via Target. But beggars can't be choosers. Got a Basic. I feel like I'm just a basic guy lately. I've bought so many basics in the last few months, it seems like. But there it is. And what do you know? The basics keep continuing and on. You guys saw my figure hunting video this week. I found a case of Basics 108 with the Street Profits, the only 2 I was missing from the set. And there's 2 of each of these guys in each case. You know, we're swimming in AJ Styles, at least in my area. There's the regular AJ in that set, and then there's the Chase. Nobody wants either of them. We're just too many AJs. We needed AJ Styles and Finn Balor break, unfortunately, from Mattel Figures. But happy to get the Street Profits out of the way. Here we go. Here's one from good brother Waylon Jennings. Waylon, one of the best friends of the show, fellow figure hunter, holding down my old alma mater, Ames, Iowa, Iowa State University, up in God's country. Waylon was in the Target, came through, found the Christian for me. Couldn't believe it. Oh, Waylon, great figure hunter, and happy to have Christian. Finally, the white one, the only one that was missing when I found a whole case. You know, Elite 76 has not hit the Des Moines, surrounding central Iowa area outside of Ames. That's the only place it's hit. It hit a Walmart and a Target up there, and that's it. But Waylon, thank you for coming through for me, hooking me up. And then another little bit of luck this week. Amazon, I actually ordered that white shirt Christian last Friday. A couple days later, I finally get it in the mail, and what does Amazon send me? But the black Chase. This was the Chase one. I needed this one too. I thought I was just going to get the white one. And it was funny, as I told Waylon, oh, I don't need the white. When he found it, I said, I actually just ordered it from Amazon. They finally put it up. I ordered it. A couple days later, bam, there's the black one. So happy to have Elite 76 done in completion. As of right now, the only Elite figure I'm missing is the Chase Rick Rude from Elite 77. As you guys know, I have every single Elite ever made. Just missing that one. And those haven't hit stores yet. So those will hit stores in the next month or so. I think that'll be fairly easy to find, because a lot of people won't be able to tell the difference or even care between the Chase on that one with the robe and everything else. But once I get that, I'll be back to completion. So awesome week to get those Christians done. Here's one. This was a gift from my dad. It was in his toy room, I guess you'd say. And he had this King Kong from when I was a little kid. Made by Mark's Toy Company. I've looked at this my whole life. I've always loved this thing. And I asked him if I could have it, and he said, yeah, sure, take it. You know, he'd give it to me one day, one way or the other. And I will put this with the rest of his monster model kits, the Aurora model kits from back in the day. They're in my collector's video. Maybe I'll do a deep dive on those one of these days. The Universal Monsters are a favorite of mine, probably a lot of you as well. And my dad's childhood model kits that he put together. I got a display in my formal living room, I guess you would call it. And this will go in there with it, as I do love this figure. You know, it rolls and it, turns and stuff like that. But very nice of my dad to give me that. That is for sure. Let's see. Where should I go next? Let's go to LJN's next. Now, this is starting to get into some heavy hitter stuff. So, who flew through the door this week all the way from Canada? Well, that was the Birdman Coco Beware. He flew in with his friend Frankie the Parrot. Very happy to have Coco in the collection now. And actually, I did not have Coco as a kid. I never came across this figure as a kid. Maybe I missed it or whatever. He wouldn't have been the highest on my to-do list as a kid, but I would have picked him up if I would have found him and there was nobody else I needed. That's when I usually would buy a character like Coco. But I never saw him as a kid, and one of the very few of the maybe 10 I didn't own as a kid. I owned them all, and you guys know that sad story where I sold them, but there's that. Also coming from Canada, the British Bulldogs. I got those from a Canadian seller as well, so very happy to have the British Bulldogs. And believe it or not, here's two more I did not have as a kid. This was the only tag team I did not have as a kid, and I'm not sure why. I didn't see them, or they weren't that hard to get. I just never ended up picking them up, and by the time it was time to pick them up, they were off the shelves, is my guess. How about Jimmy Hart? No hearts on microphone or megaphone. So last week I got the one with the hearts on the megaphone, and fun fact, this was the one I had as a kid. I did not have the hearts on the megaphone. I didn't know that was a thing until much later, but I had the no hearts as a kid. As a child, it's kind of like the Bobby Heenan. I had the no scrolls Bobby Heenan as a kid. So happy to have this Jimmy Hart. I'm not sure if I'm going to do all the variants. There's a lot of weird stuff. Like there's 3 Jesse Ventura hair colors, Macho Man, different Macho Man colors on his tights and stuff. I'm not sure. A lot of hardcore LJN people say you don't get those. Then once you get them all, you don't want the LJN hunts to end. So then you get those things. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. I don't know. But that Jimmy Hart was cheap. It was. I just picked up. Said, why not? I'll grab it. And that's what I did. One of my least favorite LJNs as a kid, Adrian Adonis. I believe I got him at a garage sale as a kid, and he was the only one that was not meant for me as a kid because he came from a garage sale, and somebody like put a pencil or something and carved a little hole in his stomach. So he was a garbage figure to me as a kid. I would have Royal Rumbles and stuff. He would be the first one out. He was basically the jobber that would get eliminated first thing in my childhood toys. Happy to get a nicer one now for my collection, but probably my least favorite LJN as a kid, and probably not far off from my least one right now. Here was another one. Jobber, Tito Santana. No, he wasn't Jobber. He was former Intercontinental Champion, but I had the Strike Force 2-pack as a kid, so I never got this Tito. I didn't need this one. You know, why have 2 Titos? It just wasn't the same. So I never had the Purple Tights Tito. One of the easiest to find LJNs, but obviously I needed to complete the collection. Had to pick that one up, that is for sure. How about this one? Coming in, made a deal with Sal Licata, internet LJN collector, good brother out there. Hooked me up, gave me a good deal on the Honky Tonk Man. One of my absolute favorites as a kid. I loved the Honky Tonk Man. A lot of people didn't, but as a kid, I absolutely loved him. He was probably my favorite heel right after he lost the Intercontinental title to the Warrior, up through Rhythm and Blues and stuff. I love the Honky Tonk Man. Got the guitar with him. Very difficult to find him in really good shape. So happy to have the Honky Tonk Man in the collection. And I'm happy to have one of my all-time favorites as a kid as well was the OneMan Gang. One of my favorite figures, and one that's extremely hard to find in good shape. I got a good deal. Had to do a lot of bargaining for this one, but I ended up picking it up. He's one of the hard ones not to find a messed up face on. I'm glad to finally get a clean one of the OneMan Gang. Cross that on the list. I just need to find that Bam Bam Bigelow. That's kind of been the white LJN whale a little bit. And Warlord, of course. They don't pop up a whole lot. When they do, they're not super clean as I'd want. So happy to have the gang. Need to find the Warlord. All right. How about another one? Now, I can't remember, but I believe this is the hard one of the 2 referees. And as a kid, I never had the referee either. So there's a few, like I said, I didn't have. I never had the white or the blue shirt. I believe the white is rarer than the blue. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's true. I got the white this week. Still in search of the blue, so I'll have to close that one off. The collection very soon. How about another one? Another one I didn't have, so I'm closing a lot of gaps on ones I didn't have as a kid, and that's Rick Rude. Now, take you back to a little story time with Kyle here. So, 1989, my birthday, out of the back of Pro Wrestling Illustrated, I believe it was, my dad ordered me the entire Black Card Series set except for Rick Rude. I did not want Rick Rude even as a kid because I said, what am I going to do with this Rick Rude figure? I can't play with him. There's nothing I can possibly do. So I skipped him as a kid. I never got him. I obviously regretted it, but it was what it was. If you're choosing between that lineup, this is the one you're probably going to pass on because there's no wrestling moves he can do. As an adult collector, it's cool. It looks awesome on a statue, like a statue. It's in your collection. You're not playing with it. Or are you? Who knows? But very happy to have Rick Rude, one I never had. Obviously one of the heavy hitters of the line and really hard to get. It's funny, if you think back, I wonder if he was like Tito Santana, like that purple Tito that's pretty common, pretty easy to get. If this was similar to that, how many Orange Cassidy repaints would we have on this Rick Rude? They'd be making Orange Cassidy out of this all the time. Obviously, they're not going to do it with the scarce and the rarity of that figure, but that would be something for sure. All right, now we're getting into the heaviest of hitters. We got 3, 4, 5 things left, and they are all extremely ridiculously priced. As you guys know, a lot of you guys are probably hardcore wrestling fan collectors. You know the value of these figures and things I'm going to show you here. Very fortunate to come through with these things this week. So first off, back to that Black Card Series, Haku. Very possibly the hardest to find LJN figure. Not the most popular wrestler ever. We all would have loved to have seen him in the purple tights, the King Haku figure. Wasn't in the cards. We got Islander Haku, but one of the rarest wrestling figures, I think, going around today, and one of the most expensive. Very happy to cross this off the list. This is one of those heavy hitters that you want off the list, and not everybody gets lucky enough to cross it off, and I'm so happy I did. So speaking of that, I also picked up the Big Boss Man. Another hard one. One I absolutely loved as a kid, with the original nightstick. Love this Big Boss Man figure. Loved it as a kid. One of the other Grail figures of that Black Card Series set. Very hard to get, in great shape. This one is very good shape. Just a little bit on his the sleeve just right here. But besides that, minty. So very good. Very happy to have that off the list. And now this is where things totally went off the rail. I'm going to do a separate video on this because I'm not a gambler. I've never gambled. I just don't. I work way too hard and way too many hours for my money, so I'm not going to play a slot machine or something like that. But you guys know about online raffles. If you're in any Facebook groups, there's raffles all the time. Pay $3, buy a spot. There's 200 spots. If they draw your name, you'll win. I never do that. It's just, I feel like it's a waste of money. I've done it maybe 3 times in my life, and I actually won a King Kong Bundy Mattel Elite Legends Series figure a few years back. It was when I was honing up, cleaning up some of the ones I didn't have, and I actually won it. I couldn't believe it. Well, it was my birthday. And long story short, and I'm going to go into detail in a separate video that I'll release with all my winnings of the week, I guess you would say. I said, you know what? It's my birthday. I'm going to buy 5 spots, 4 spots, whatever it was, $20. Why not? There's 250 chances. Well, the first place winner won a prize. Second place winner won a prize. Third place winner won a prize. I said, well, I'll just throw $20. It's my birthday, And the thing is, if I wouldn't have won, it would have eaten me alive. Stuff like that eats me alive. Like, I just threw away $20. Oh my gosh, what was I thinking? But luckily, I won the drawing. I couldn't believe it. And it was one of those things where I watched the video like 45 minutes later. I happened to scroll. I was like, oh, I wonder if I won that. Thinking I didn't, but I did. And what I won was one I've been trying to justify in my mind, saying, I don't need this. It's not technically an LJN figure. It came out from Hasbro. Yeah, it's in scale, but it's not technically the same thing. I'm trying to justify it to myself, but knowing well deep down I had to have this because you guys know I love wrestling, but what else do I love? I love G.I. Joe. And not having Sgt Slaughter in my collection would be a huge disservice. But I won the Sgt Slaughter. I was shocked. My heart was pounding. I thought I was going to have a heart attack or a stroke or both at the same time. To find a Sgt Slaughter and basically get him for $20 shipped. That's what it ends up kind of being. Amazing. I can't believe I won this Sgt Slaughter. But it got better because pull number 2, I said, won a prize too. And what do you know? The old birthday boy comes through. Pull number 2. Pull old Kyle Peterson's name out of there. 2 wins in a row. I'm not a mathematician. I've never claimed to be one. I have no idea what the odds of that would be. It's got to be astronomical. But I won the second pull. So I got 2 freebies. And my second pull, I got to choose between an LJN Ultimate Warrior, a loose Ultimate Warrior, which I already have, and I have a 10 out of 10 mint Ultimate Warrior already. So I didn't need that. But what was the other prize that was offered up? It was a mint on card LJN Bobby the Brain Heenan autographed figure. Holy cow, in the hard acrylic case. I could not choose this. Bobby Heenan, one of my favorites of all time. Loved Bobby Heenan since I was a kid. Loved him in everything. So I won both of these figures for a total of $20. Both of these figures shipped to me $20. Unbelievable. I'll give it a separate video on this, that's for sure, in the next few days. It also came with, the Sgt Slaughter also came with the original order form pack to order that Sgt Slaughter, which is totally awesome. I had so many of these as a kid. I do not know why I never got the Sgt Slaughter as a kid. Very, very strange to me. I'm not sure, but what a week of winnings. But it gets better. I told you last week, I said, hey, it's my birthday. My dad always comes through on my birthday. My dad understands me. He gets me better than anybody else out there. He knows how my brain works. He knows what I'm looking for. He knows what I collect. He knows what I want. And he came through with the greatest birthday present ever. He said he had to do something special because it was my 40th birthday. I was always a good kid. I never caused my dad any trouble. Any of you kids out there watching, be good to your dad. Stay out of trouble. Don't do drugs. Do the right thing. Live by the golden rule. And you too will have a great 40th birthday party just like I did. But here it is. I'll have to do a separate unboxing video on this. I'm so excited. It's been so tough for me to sit one full week and not open this thing up. But I cannot wait to open it. You guys may have seen this in the past somewhere. Holy cow, it's heavy. But look at this. Ultimate Warrior Sideshow Collectible Statue. This thing's like 2.5, 3 feet tall. Just totally amazing. Probably going to be like the grail piece of my collection. You guys know I love the Ultimate Warrior. This statue is awesome. We've seen pictures of it, proto pictures forever. It's been on my to-do list for a heck of a long time. I am excited to own this in my collection. I gotta figure out where am I gonna put this giant thing. This is massive. I gotta put it somewhere where I don't bump into it, knock it over. I'd like to put it maybe inside of a D-Tall, but that takes up a lot of real estate. I don't know. I gotta figure this out. But there's only 500 of these in the world, and one of them is coming to live with me. So just totally amazing. I can't thank my dad enough. Probably one of the best presents I've ever had. I think back all the way to 1989 birthday, getting that black card series of LJNs to today. I've had a lot of good birthdays out there, and I do truly appreciate it. That is for sure. But there it is. That is the weekly purchases. That's where it's going to stop. It can't go any farther. It's the greatest week of weekly purchases I've ever had and ever will have. It'll never be topped. We'll get back to the normal type weeks probably next week. As I work to finish the LJNs, as I work to finish the Jack's Ruthless Aggression figure line out. So that's it. That's it for weekly purchases. I hope you guys were impressed. I hope it lived up to the hype. I made it a little dramatic, I know. I'm like a young Ryan Seacrest on American Idol this week, that is for sure. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully you like the video. Comment on the video. You guys know I love interacting with you. I love talking to you guys about what you picked up. I love your comments on there, so leave me a comment. And don't forget to subscribe. Everybody says it, but please do. Please subscribe to the channel. A lot of cool stuff coming the way. We got some secret projects. We got some other things to come that might surprise you. We got the unboxings, the reviews, the deep dives, you name it. It's all coming. And that's it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed weekly purchases. Today is the 4th of July, so be safe out there. Don't blow your fingers off. And until next time, this has been Kyle. We'll see you guys all real soon.